The human brain can only handle one task at a time. Imagine a triangle in your mind. Now, picture a black dot moving along the edges of that triangle. Take about 5 seconds to let the dot travel around the entire triangle. You can probably do this without any difficulty. Next, visualize the letter W in your mind. Imagine a black dot moving along the lines of the W. Again, you should be able to do this without any problem. Now, try to imagine both the triangle and the W at the same time, and move the black dots along their edges simultaneously. How does it feel? You might find that when you try to focus on moving both dots at once, your attention shifts to one shape, causing you to lose track of the dot on the other shape. Even if you think you are moving both dots simultaneously, your brain is actually rapidly switching between the two shapes. The human brain can't process even such a simple task at the same time. If you can do this, you have two brains. What does multitasking mean? Multitasking refers to the ability to perform multiple tasks or activities simultaneously. In a practical sense, it often involves managing different tasks at once, switching between them quickly, or dividing attention among various activities. This could mean handling several projects at work, juggling personal and professional responsibilities, or even doing simple tasks like talking on the phone while typing an email. Multitasking is often seen as a way to increase productivity, but research suggests that constantly switching between tasks can reduce efficiency and increase errors. The brain isn't truly capable of focusing on more than one task at a time, rather, it switches attention between tasks rapidly, which can lead to cognitive overload. Is multitasking a good thing? Whether multitasking is a good thing depends on the context and the tasks involved. It has both benefits and drawbacks. Benefits of multitasking. 1. Time efficiency for simple tasks. For routine or simple tasks that require little cognitive effort, multitasking can save time. For example, listening to a podcast while commuting or doing household chores. 2. Handling urgent situations. Multitasking can be useful in scenarios where quick responses are needed, such as in customer service roles or emergency situations. 3. Improved adaptability. It can help develop skills for quickly adapting to different tasks and managing multiple responsibilities. Drawbacks of multitasking. 1. Reduced focus and quality. When multitasking involves complex or demanding tasks, it can reduce focus and the quality of output. Constantly switching between tasks can lead to mistakes and slower completion times. 2. Increased stress and cognitive overload. Multitasking often leads to cognitive overload, making it harder to concentrate and potentially increasing stress levels. 3. Lower productivity. Studies show that multitasking can decrease overall productivity. Switching between tasks requires a mental reset, which consumes time and energy. Conclusion. Multitasking can be beneficial for managing simple or repetitive tasks simultaneously. However, for tasks that require deep concentration, creativity, or high levels of accuracy, focusing on one task at a time monotasking is often more effective. Are humans capable of multitasking? Humans are not truly capable of multitasking in the way we often think. When people believe they are multitasking, they are usually rapidly switching their attention between tasks, a process known as task switching. Our brains are wired to focus on one task at a time, especially if the tasks require conscious thought or complex decision-making. How the brain handles multitasking. 1. Cognitive bottleneck. The brain has a limited capacity for processing information. When attempting to do multiple tasks simultaneously, it encounters a bottleneck, as it can only fully focus on one complex task at a time. For example, trying to write an email while also participating in a conversation splits cognitive resources, leading to reduced performance in both activities. 2. Task switching costs. Every time you switch from one task to another, your brain needs to reset and refocus, which takes time and mental energy. These switching costs can accumulate, making multitasking less efficient than focusing on one task until it's complete. 3. Dual task interference. Research shows that performing two demanding tasks at once leads to interference, where the performance of both tasks suffers. This is why tasks like texting while driving are dangerous. The brain cannot effectively handle both activities at the same time without impairing performance. What humans can do. Humans can often handle a primary task while performing secondary tasks that are simple and require minimal cognitive effort. For example, walking and having a simple conversation. Listening to background music while working on a familiar task. However, when both tasks are complex or require concentration, true multitasking is nearly impossible without sacrificing accuracy or efficiency. Conclusion. Humans are generally better at focusing on one task at a time for optimal performance, especially with complex or demanding activities. What is often perceived as multitasking is more about rapidly switching attention between tasks, which can reduce overall productivity and increase errors. Is multitasking a skill or ability? Multitasking is often considered a skill rather than a natural ability. While some people seem to be better at managing multiple tasks simultaneously, this often comes from developed techniques, practice, and experience rather than an innate talent. Why multitasking is considered a skill? 1. Learned techniques. People can improve their multitasking skills by learning to prioritize tasks, manage time effectively, and develop strategies to reduce errors. For example, someone might learn to delegate simpler tasks while focusing on more complex ones or use tools like to-do lists to keep track of multiple responsibilities. 2. Practice and experience. Through practice, some individuals become more adept at switching between tasks quickly or managing overlapping responsibilities. For instance, professionals in fast-paced environments, like chefs, air traffic controllers, or emergency responders, train to handle multiple tasks under pressure. 3. Adaptability and management. Multitasking effectively often involves skills in adaptability, decision-making, organization, and time management. These are developed through experience and training rather than being inherent traits. Multitasking as an ability. While multitasking relies heavily on learned skills, some people have a natural inclination toward it due to factors like cognitive flexibility, working memory capacity, and stress tolerance. However, even those with a natural advantage typically need to refine their multitasking skills to be effective. Conclusion. Multitasking is primarily a skill that can be developed and improved with practice and experience, although certain cognitive abilities can make it easier for some people to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. What is a weakness of multitasking? One significant weakness of multitasking is that it can reduce the quality and efficiency of work. When trying to handle multiple tasks simultaneously, the brain is forced to constantly switch attention from one task to another, which can lead to several negative effects. Key weaknesses of multitasking. 1. Decreased focus and accuracy. Constantly switching between tasks can lead to errors because the brain needs time to reorient itself with each switch. This can result in mistakes, especially in tasks that require precision or attention to detail. For example, proofreading a document while responding to emails can cause you to miss critical errors. 2. Reduced productivity. Contrary to popular belief, multitasking often decreases productivity rather than increases it. Studies show that people who multitask may take longer to complete tasks than if they focused on them one by one. This is because task switching costs, the mental and time overhead required to shift between activities, can add up significantly. 3. Increased stress and mental fatigue. Multitasking can lead to cognitive overload, causing mental fatigue and stress. The brain's constant shifting can be exhausting, leading to burnout or decision fatigue, where it becomes harder to make decisions or concentrate as the day progresses. 4. Impaired memory. Multitasking can negatively affect memory retention. Because attention is divided, the brain may struggle to encode information properly, making it harder to remember details later on. This is particularly true for tasks that require learning or deep understanding. 5. Lowered creativity. For tasks that require creative thinking or problem solving, multitasking can stifle creativity. Creative processes often need uninterrupted focus and the ability to make connections between ideas, which is challenging when attention is fragmented. Conclusion. Multitasking can be detrimental to both the quality and efficiency of work, and it can lead to increased stress, errors, and cognitive fatigue. For complex or important tasks, focusing on one thing at a time is usually more effective. Why does my brain want to multitask? Your brain is naturally inclined to multitask because it is wired to seek out new stimuli and rewards. This tendency is rooted in both evolutionary and psychological factors. Reasons why your brain wants to multitask. 1. Seeking novelty and stimulation. The brain is constantly seeking new information and experiences. When you multitask, your brain gets small doses of dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward, every time you switch tasks or encounter something new. This makes multitasking feel satisfying in the short term, even though it might not be productive in the long run. 2. Illusion of productivity. Multitasking can create an illusion of productivity. Switching between tasks can make you feel busy and accomplished, even if the actual progress on each task is minimal. This can be especially appealing when you're trying to manage a heavy workload or feel pressured to achieve more in less time. 3. The fear of missing out FOMO. The fear of missing out on something important, like an email, message, or notification, can drive the desire to multitask. Your brain may urge you to check multiple sources of information to stay updated, even if it means dividing attention between several tasks. 4. Cognitive flexibility. Some people have a higher level of cognitive flexibility, allowing them to shift focus between tasks more easily. For these individuals, multitasking can feel more natural and manageable, making it a preferred approach even if it's not always efficient. 5. Adaptive response to a fast-paced world. Modern environments, particularly digital ones, encourage multitasking. Notifications, alerts, and the sheer volume of information available can push your brain into a state of constant partial attention. Over time, this can become a habit, as the brain adapts to juggling multiple streams of information. 6. Avoidance of boredom or difficult tasks. Multitasking can be a way to avoid boredom or tasks that seem difficult or unpleasant. Switching to a new task can provide temporary relief from discomfort or boredom, creating a cycle where multitasking becomes a default behavior. Conclusion. While multitasking may feel rewarding or necessary, it is often driven by psychological impulses rather than an effective strategy for getting things done. Recognizing these impulses can help you become more mindful of when multitasking is counterproductive. Is multitasking related to IQ? Multitasking itself is not directly related to IQ, but there are some indirect connections between multitasking, cognitive abilities, and certain aspects of intelligence. How multitasking relates to cognitive abilities and IQ. 1. Working memory and cognitive flexibility. People with higher IQs often have stronger working memory and better cognitive flexibility. These traits can make it easier to handle multiple pieces of information at once or switch between tasks more efficiently. As a result, people with higher IQs might appear to multitask more effectively. However, this doesn't mean that they are truly multitasking. Rather, they might just be better at quickly shifting attention or processing information rapidly. 2. Task performance and accuracy. Research suggests that people with higher cognitive abilities may perform better when multitasking in specific situations, but this advantage is often small. Even those with high IQs can experience declines in performance, accuracy, and productivity when they attempt to multitask, especially for complex tasks. This is because multitasking, in general, is challenging for the brain, regardless of IQ. 3. Susceptibility to multitasking costs. Asterisk studies show that the negative effects of multitasking, such as slower task completion and increased error rates, affect everyone to some extent, regardless of IQ. Higher cognitive abilities may help mitigate these effects slightly, but they do not eliminate them. People with high IQs are still prone to the switching costs that come from rapidly shifting between tasks. 4. Misconceptions about multitasking and intelligence. Asterisk, there is a common misconception that people who can multitask well are more intelligent. However, research consistently shows that multitasking often leads to decreased performance for most people, including those with high IQs. Instead, intelligence may help in identifying when multitasking is unproductive and choosing more effective strategies, like focusing on one task at a time. Conclusion. While there is some correlation between multitasking ability and certain cognitive traits associated with higher IQ, multitasking is generally not an effective strategy for most people, regardless of intelligence level. High IQ may provide an edge in managing multiple pieces of information, but it does not fundamentally change the brain's limitations regarding multitasking.